Hi everyone. Um, the boring movie guy here. That's the first time I'm saying that. That's pretty cool, I guess. But yeah, the boring movie guy here. I wanted to come back on here and talk about a movie that I've been wanting to talk about since we probably started this channel. And the movie is the Heiress with Olivia de Havilland here, directed by William Wyler. There's some other people in there as well. You got Montgomery Clift, you got Ralph Richardson, and you got Miriam Hopkins. A great cast of actors there. But yeah, this is a film that I feel like just, I wouldn't say has been forgotten, but people aren't really looking back at film anymore, and I feel like that is very important that you must go back and look back at film. And the Heiress is one of those ones that I feel like is just everything is just great with it. Screenplay, directing, cinematography, music, acting, uh, costume, anything else that I haven't mentioned. It's perfect in every way. But yeah, Olivia de Havilland probably gives her best performance probably in this film. She did win the Oscar for it, and she's fantastic. Just playing this character named Catherine, who is a very naive person. She's naive, um, not very talented, and yeah, she just isn't doesn't have much of a personality. She's very shy. And the father, played by Ralph Richardson, he I don't know what to say. He just doesn't really understand her, or he's just kind of embarrassed by her. And they never really say it in the movie, but the mother died somehow. I guess early on. When she was like a kid, or maybe even earlier than when she was a kid, maybe when she was born. And I guess he, yeah, evidently sort of blames her for her death, and he feels like the exchange wasn't a good exchange. He lost his wife that he idolized, and he gets a daughter that he doesn't really think much of. And yeah, what happens in this film is that Olivia de Havilland is going to inherit a lot of money when he dies. She's already inheriting money from her mother's death. She gets like, I think it's like $10,000 a year or something like that. And when he dies, she's gonna get another 20,000 on top of that. And this takes place in like 1850ish or something like that. So at that time, that was about, I'd say about $1 million a year right there. So that's a lot of money she's gonna be getting. And the thing is that she's not very appealing to the gentleman at all. There's even like a whole scene where she's at like this wedding or this engagement party, and no one's dancing with her. The only time she dances is when like a aunt or something walks up to a guy and is like, "Oh, have you met my niece?" And he's like, oh yeah, I think we have. Would you like to dance? And then they dance, and usually, she gets ditched by the guy or something. And then at that party, that's where she meets Montgomery Clift, and he sort of charms her, and they dance. I think they danced. I know he gets her a drink, and then she winds up having to dance with some other dude because her aunt sort of forced her into it. But besides that, yeah, the whole movie becomes, about whether Montgomery Clift likes the character for her money or for her personality, and everyone pretty much thinks that it's her money that he's after, because he does not have a lot of money. In fact, he's like dead broke, living with his sister or something like that, with her family. So yeah, the whole film you're sort of just like, is he into her for money or into her for her? And all I have to say is you're gonna have to find out. You pick this up, this Criterion Heiress, or if you're living somewhere else, just try and find the movie somehow. If you're not living in the U.S. of A. But I love this movie, man. I try to get so many people to watch this film, and it's always a failure because I'm guessing, they take a look at this and I tell them the plot, and they're just like, no thank you. But I'm one of those people. I try to watch like anything. If anyone throws anything at me, I watch it. If anything pops up and it's appealing, or even if it pops up and it's not appealing, I'll try and get to it. So I try to watch everything, and I'm honest with whether I like the film or not. I know there's a lot of guys out there that will watch like a chick flick and have a certain love for it, but when they're with their bros and all that, they're like, oh, that movie sucked, but inside they're like, I actually kind of like that film, but I don't want them to know because I'm a man. But I'm not like that. Like, if someone walks up to me, asks me if I liked, I don't know, what's a female film? I don't know, like Love Actually. Like, if someone walks up to me and say, hey, do you like the movie Love Actually? I'll say, yeah, I like that movie a lot. I know a lot of guys out there would be like, oh shit, no, I don't. That movie was garbage. I'm not like that. I'm honest. I'm honest with my film opinions. But yeah, this is a fantastic film. I'm telling you, everything about it is great. William Wyler, one of my favorite directors ever, and sadly, it seems like he's become a forgotten film director. Like, when you hear a lot of people talk about the greats that made movies, they tend to not have William Wyler on that list, and I don't understand why. The man has directed more actors into Oscar winners and Oscar nominees. Like, if you look at his list of how many actors he's gotten a nominee or even won an Oscar, it's crazy. The guy was just an actor's director. Like, he would just get the best performance out of you, and he didn't care how he got it out of you. He would get it out of you, even if he had to be a big giant prick. you always hear like Betty Davis talk about him, how they would get into it like cats and dogs on the set, but she would realize that it was actually good for her character that she would do this, because it showed up on the film and it looked really good. So William Wyler, just one of those ones that you just got to appreciate. And sadly, yeah, he's becoming more and more forgotten over the years. And of course, Olivia de Havilland, great in this film. She of course won the Oscar that year, and I love her performance in this. Ralph Richardson, man, he is so damn good in this film. I think he was nominated for Best Supporting Actor. Sadly, I think he might have been overlooked. I feel like he should have won it, but I didn't look up the other nominees that happened that year, so maybe I'll take a look at that, see if he actually did deserve it or not. But he's so damn good in here. He almost steals scenes like that, man, in this movie. He does great performance in this movie. Montgomery Clift, this isn't his best work. I think he was just hired for this, to be a good love interest for the main character, make Olivia de Havilland look great, and he does his job. I think he would even admit that this wasn't his best performance. I even read somewhere today that he got up and left during the premiere, that he was so disgusted with his performance in this film, which is sad. I mean, you always hear that about Montgomery Clift, that he was never really happy with anything that he did, and it's just sad to hear because he gave us so many great performances. The cinematography in this, man, it is so damn good. Oh my god. Just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful cinematography. I love the look of this film, and the music is very good as well. I don't know if this has ever been released on some sort of vinyl or CD. I doubt CD, but if this ever has been released on vinyl, I will try and seek it out and maybe buy it. And Edith Head was, of course, the costume designer for this film, and I think she won the Oscar for it, and well deserved. The costumes look fantastic in this film. And yeah, the story. Oh, I love the story. I just told you the whole story. It gets darker as the film goes on, and you find out all this all this stuff as the film goes on. I don't want to give it all away, but it's it's so good. Oh my god. And let's talk about this, the Criterion release. They gave you so many extras on here. One of the ones I enjoyed was the Olivia de Havilland 45-minute interview, even though she did not mention this film at all in that interview, which is too bad. Still, it was a great interview. I liked watching that. And then they showed William Wyler's acceptance speech for the AFI award, and that was funny. Went up there, told a lot of funny jokes about himself. He seems to have a good sense of humor about himself, so that's good. And then there was this great thing on here with it was the Merv Griffith show, and it was a episode where they saluted William Wyler, or it was all dedicated to William Wyler, I should say. And it had Betty Davis, Olivia de Havilland, and Walter Pidgeon sitting in the same room, and then William Wyler comes in, and it's all four of them like sitting there like, wow, that is quite the room to be in at that moment. And it's very interesting conversation between them. You got Betty Davis and Walter Pidgeon just sitting there smoking up a storm, and you got Olivia de Havilland being all smiley, and Betty Davis just completely overpowering everyone with her cigarette. And Walter Pidgeon, he had a couple good lines in there, but that was a very fun one to watch. And then they had a thing about Edith Head on here. A guy actually has one of the costumes from this movie, and he was sort of just going over, the costume, and he was going over just a lot of the costumes in the film. But it was a nice little thing to add on here. Usually they don't have like that sort of like additions to the special features about like costume or even art direction, and it's cool that they add these things on here. And yeah, you also have this thing with it was just a conversation between Jay Cox, who has written some Scorsese movies, and a film critic. I don't know her name. I guess it's Farron Smith Nemi or something like that. It was just a conversation between the two about this film. I like that about Criterion. Like, if there isn't enough special features, they'll make their own. They'll just get random people to come in that are sort of like, not exactly like the most well known, but they're sort of like in the business, and they come and talk about like the film, or they just do like these very random like special features for their releases. And I really enjoy that they put that amount of effort into their releases. And yeah, the cover looks really cool. You got Olivia de Havilland there, sort of like what she looks like at the beginning of the film. She sort of has the opposite sort of look at the end, no longer looking all happy and starry-eyed and naive. She becomes a whole different person by the end of the movie. And yeah, you get this. Oh my god, this is awesome. Get a like folded up poster here of that cover. That's really cool. And then you get this big essay on the back here. I'll have to read that. I haven't read that yet. But yeah, that's really cool, man. And even here, like inside the case here, on the opposite side, you got like this behind the scenes photo of Olivia de Havilland. You got like William Wyler there, the cameraman. Like, that's a really cool image there. I like that. So you see how great Criterion is. They just, every bit of detail counts for Criterion, and I love them. So with that, I guess I will rate the film. I'm going to go ahead and give this film, The Heiress, a 9.5 out of 10. I can't really say that there was anything really wrong with the film. If I could say something, I would say that maybe Olivia de Havilland was maybe a little bit too good looking to play this character. Because, if I've seen, like, Olivia de Havilland, someone that was, like, looked exactly like Olivia de Havilland, dressed like this character at a party, I would tell you that I would be actually attracted to that girl and want to go up and actually talk to her. And I wouldn't even care if she was shy. I'm actually into shy girls, so that's probably the only thing that lingers over me. That maybe Olivia De Havilland was maybe a little too good looking for this part. But besides that, great, great, great movie. Go watch it. Go try and find it. It's worth it.